Chapter 4. Aftermath. That day at the bank obviously left everyone involved deeply affected. For me, it meant a lifelong journey of healing and reflection, trying to make sense of all the trauma I had endured, not just for those terrible 24 hours, but the years leading up to it. At the hospital, I was given tranquilizers while they conducted tests to make sure I was going to be physically okay. My father met me there and stayed with me, lending me his strength. After being discharged from the hospital, I was taken to the Terrebonne Sheriff's Office for debriefing while events were still fresh. They weren't just fresh, but raw, making for a tense experience I was forced to relive not just the time in the bank, but the events that led.
Chapter 4. This is the start of Chapter 4, friends, to the book Courageous Healing. This is the sampling of what you can expect to read after the aftermath of the experience that Adele went through at the bank during the most difficult part of trauma that she endured at the hands of Chad Louvier, her former husband. Adele, what was that like reading those words?
It's hard, but it's the truth. And those words need to be heard. Most people know what happened to me, or a large majority of people know what happened to me, but they don't know what happened after, and they don't know my journey after.
That's right. A lot of people have already purchased and read the book, and they've even reached out to you to tell you that they never had an idea what really happened because, again, what was being reported in the news was only just the part that the news wanted to cover for headlines, for the interest of the evening news or the dramatization of the trauma that you underwent, but it had nothing related to what really happened to you as the victim of this crime. It was actually a series of crimes.
Yeah.
So Adele, bring us up to date on what's happened since the release of the book and many of your friends and some family members who have read your story.
You know, it's been wonderful to get everybody's feedback and just to hear how they appreciate me writing the book, how inspiring the book has been to them, and how moving it's also been. Um, because I'm not the only one that they know that's been through this, through something like this. And a lot of them that have reached out to me have been very quiet in their lives about their own experiences. So in many ways they feel seen, but they feel seen in a positive way because they feel like all of a sudden they have someone they can relate to and relate back to. And for those that know me and know me well, but never really knew the whole story because they know me today. They know the healed Adele. They know the person, they know the personality. It's been quite a shock, but at the same time, it helped them reconcile like who I am today. And they're like, I can totally see why you are the person that you are today. It's totally all here.
Yeah, they see the work in progress that you're becoming, and and again having worked closely with you, like really close this year. I can see the healing that you've been through, especially since every single weekend we spend in class studying the patterns of healing. And so you're quite a testament to the power of just deciding to go on the healing journey and how you've been able to evolve, how you've been able to really understand the darkness of human nature, but not be stuck there, but to rise above it. Talk to us about a little bit more about your journey in terms of how you've been able to heal. And we got some exciting news for victims of domestic violence that we can go ahead and let them know. So, talk to us about what it's been like in your healing journey.
A healing journey is not something that is linear. And I think we've seen those memes where it shows you all the time, that your journey is not linear. It doesn't go from straight from point A to point B. It's a little squiggly line all over the place. And that's what my journey's been. It's been a bunch of ups and it's been a bunch of downs, but I knew that as long as I stayed the path, that I was going to wind up here in this place and I was going to be better for it and I was going to be living a better life because of it and that I was going to be able to be not only was I going to be my healing journey was a benefit to me but it's a benefit to those around me because remember life is a ripple effect. What you do affects the people around you because it affects who you present, and who you are. So if I would not have gone through this healing journey, then the challenges could have been that I would be living a life in unskilled ways where I could have isolated myself, gone into depression, still been struggling with PTSD. But I also could have had trouble developing friendships and relationships and having people in my life that would truly support me through this journey. People and I think that's something that is really hard for people on the outside to grasp is a healing journey is not an easy thing. And when you stand on the outside of somebody doing it, the most empowering thing you can do is have some support. Even though they may not talk to you about it, they may not come to you about it, they just know that when they want to go out to dinner or they want to hang out or they want to do something, they can count on you. That is part of their healing journey because healing is not just about talk therapy or NLP or anything like that. It's actually existing in your life and existing in ways where things that show up can constantly remind you of what has happened to you or what is going on with you. So sometimes just going out for a drink or having dinner with your friends or hanging out with your girlfriends is an incredible, moment in someone's healing journey, and they may not even know it.
In listening to you, Dell, the part of the book that came to mind was how after the trials in the legal system, after they concluded, and you ran into people at the grocery store, how some people just wanted to give you a hug. It's like that was powerful because again, what can you tell a victim who has basically been to hell and back and stare death in the face? It's like, what can you tell someone other than just know that they support you, that they empathize with you?
Yep, and giving them a hug is a powerful thing. If they accept your hug, because sometimes they don't, because touching someone after they've been through something like this can be weird. You ask them for the consent to be able to give them a hug, and they say, "Yes, hug them tight," because that means they need it.
Yes.
And just a simple hug and a simple hello is great. And actually asking somebody how you're doing is not a bad thing. And if they start to unload on you, just give them a hug and say, "I'm sorry." Sometimes people don't know what to say and that's okay. However, a lot of times they wanna know how, when somebody asks me how I'm doing back then, I wanna be able to tell them what's going on in my life at that moment, that I had moved, that I had gotten a job, that I was dating somebody. I don't wanna necessarily always talk about the bad things or how I was feeling. I wanted to give them the space to be excited about whatever little things are going on in their life and celebrate it with them. And if they say that they got a job, or if they say that they're dating somebody, or if they say that they're living on their own or doing well, congratulate them and let them know that this is a huge accomplishment, but it's a wonderful thing.
Yes. Adele, talk about that one case that reached out to you where you talked to the lady who is a victim of domestic violence and how you assured her that she's on the right path. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's important. I've had a lot of people reach out to me. And in particular, when people reach out to me, I like to listen to see exactly where they are. And the most important thing is knowing I assured her that she was safe. I assured her that in her particular situation, she was absolutely safe and she absolutely was right where she needed to be in her healing journey. Because sometimes it's hard to see the forest for the trees. Sometimes it's hard to see that even though this stuff, oh my God, it's been 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and it's still troubling you. But you have to look at the journey and how it's troubling you today versus how it troubled you when you first happened. So it's like you have to look at it again as progress and know that it's okay that you still have bad days. We in society are somehow obsessed with the perfection of healing and happiness. And also, we also have trouble giving ourselves permission to be happy. Just simply giving yourself permission to be happy is a lot, and I basically said, "You can be happy, you can live your life to the fullest and still deal with this."
You're listening to Courageous Healing Podcast. We'll be right back.
What does it take to rise after the unthinkable? Courageous Healing is the powerful true story of Adele M. George, a woman who survived the unimaginable and chose not just to live, but to heal, thrive, and lead. From the shadows of domestic violence to becoming a voice of strength for survivors, Adele takes you on a raw, unfiltered journey of resilience, redemption, and hope. If you or someone you love is on a healing journey, this book is your companion, your inspiration, your proof that survival is just the beginning. Courageous Healing, now available on Amazon. Start your healing. Rewrite your story.
We now return you to the Courageous Healing Podcast.
This isn't something that you have to face 24/7, and you don't have to wear this burden on your shoulders like a backpack. You can drop the backpack. You can put it down and you can deal with it in bits and pieces. It's just knowing that you're safe. It's knowing that you're okay. It's knowing that there's progress that you're making. And it's not, while comparison is a thief, comparing you to where you were 2, 3 years, 4 years ago versus now is something that you should do. You should be able to see how you're able to exist, and you should be proud of where you are regardless of how far you've come. Because everybody's journey is different. Don't compare your journey to mine.
Yes. And one of the things that I remind victims of domestic violence or actually any kind of abuse is that once you have awareness of your own journey, of your own evolution, that can never be taken away from you. You can always build upon that because there's even a awareness about being aware. It's like a meta perspective of your own journey that again, it's a gradual and continuous thing, but it's something you can hold on to. While you may relapse into old feelings of helplessness or hopelessness, the awareness can bounce you back. So you may take 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, but you're still one step ahead, and
Yep.
and that becomes your anchor. That becomes your gradual faith building apparatus that you're on the right path, that you will overcome. You just got to trust the process. You got to trust the process. You got to keep walking. You got to keep growing. You got to keep evolving.
And you have to learn yourself along the way. Part of tools that I feel is really important is learning how you heal. and learning how you process your trauma. And knowing if, like, I'm an introvert. So for me, it was really finding a quiet space to allow me to have a panic attack or to cry or to do whatever it was that I needed to do, journal or just have a moment. And then once I had a moment, I could pick up the phone and call somebody and talk about it. If you're an extrovert, it might be the opposite. You might need to go and talk to somebody, a friend, a confidant, a therapist, or someone in order to process what's going on in your mind. Or you might be, as an extrovert, you might want to write it down or whatever. So you really kind of have to learn your own way that you process healing and the way that you do it. Because once you learn that, you can fast track your healing. Because when
Yes.
you start to have a bad day, you know how to anchor that day.
Yes. Very well put. Okay. So, Adele, give us some final recommendations related to the journey. Give us like a 1,000-foot view of what that journey can look like for victims of domestic violence.
So that journey can look very different for everybody, but there's a lot of commonalities in that. And that is learning how to exist in your life, learning how to trust yourself, learning how to trust your judgment, learning how to trust others, and just starting to feel safe. And I think for many, the first part of that journey is really knowing that you're safe and feeling safe, because you spend so long looking over your shoulder and you spend so much time being uncomfortable that you have to really start to regulate your nervous system again.
Yes. That reminds me, Adele, and I want to share this with our listeners. I was doing some research on a particular project that I've been working on, and I discovered that the primitive part of the brain, which is the limbic system, of which that's like the switchboard of all emotions that go into the brain. All of the feedback from your body that goes into the brain before it passes the emotional part of the limbic system, it goes to the amygdala, which is the most primitive part of the brain. It has no concept of time. And so memories and feelings that first hit that part of the brain, you can feel unsafe. And again, the amygdala doesn't know what day it is, what year it is, and so it's going to feel unsafe. And a tip that I give clients is, if you have to do this for yourself, do this. It's the year 2025 and I'm a survivor. By doing that, it's like you're resetting your amygdala to where you are again making a conscious statement that you have lived through, and it's you reground in present time, as opposed to being lost and not knowing that you're in the past and you can't escape the past, because again, that's like a trance state that the person goes into when there's a flood of emotions from a PTSD episode.
Yeah.
So remember that, friends, is remind yourself it's the year 2025 and I'm a survivor.
And as you were saying that, I got a visual of a stake in the ground, putting a stake in the ground and saying, it's the year 2025, and just claiming that however you can. If you say it softly, that's fine. If you got to stomp your foot, that's fine. But just some sort of visual that claims that.
Yes. I actually got that from one of my instructors who I took a highly, highly specialized training in sexual and physical abuse. And it just dawned upon me that that's the purpose. In de-repressing trauma, what happens is the person has like a control breakdown, if that makes sense. And so, because you have to manage all of the emotions that you're unpacking, and so by doing that, it's the year 2025, and I survived that. What you're doing is you're restabilizing the amygdala to where it doesn't have a full blown emotional breakdown.
Yep. Exactly, and just visualizing that you're claiming it, grabbing, whatever it takes. I mean, say it first because sometimes it's really hard to put that kind of force behind it. Yep, say it, let your body kind of hear it. Make sure you say out loud. Out loud
Yes.
is always the key. But then when you do it and you've said it a few times, claim it.
Yes. And I also encourage you to follow the feeling. If you want to shout it out, if you want to use curse words, because again, the emotions are so intense, do whatever needs to what you need to do. Allow whatever needs to happen. Okay, don't hold back. Adele, tell us about the exciting news of workshops coming up.
So I am so excited. I have been working on designing a workshop that is going to be a personal empowerment framework. And I am really excited to be able to bring this to people. I'm still working out some of the details, but I'm looking forward to announcing it really soon. And what I'm hoping to do is like an hour and a half a week for about 6 weeks. And so that gives everybody time to kind of move through each step of this framework and really give people an opportunity to discover themselves and break out of some of their old habits and old voices and stories that they tell themselves.
And a lot of this is based on your own personal journey,
Yeah.
experiential healing that you've been through. And some of this, you paid many thousands of dollars for this type of work, as you now making it extremely affordable for
Yes.
victims of domestic violence.
Exactly, and it's gonna be really affordable, and it's gonna be really time efficient, where we're gonna be really conscientious about everybody's time and it's that they're gonna be able to put into this. I'm not looking to, take up a whole Saturday or a whole weekend right now. This is gonna be something that's just gonna be about an hour and a half a week for 6 weeks. You'll have homework, but it'll be good homework, so
I like to tell clients little steps for little feet. So it's like you're gonna start to take baby steps in your healing journey if you're starting. But even if you already are advanced, you can get a lot from this
yeah.
because you will meet them wherever they are, Adele.
Yes. Yes, this is the really great part about this workshop is even if I'll even go out on a limb and say, even if you've not been sexually assaulted or been through some sort of domestic violence or an abuse, this can help you exponentially move your life in a direction that you've always wanted to move it in and move some things that are stopping you where you're holding yourself back and move those things out of the way. So while this is definitely focused on people who have been through trauma and abuse or a sexual assault in some way in order to help them get out of this, in order not to help them, in order to empower them and in order to help them on their healing journey. This is going to be a very empowering seminar.
And this is a safe space limited only to women. Yes.
Yes, we're gonna be doing this exclusively for women, for this particular one, and then, you and I are gonna do one as well for men.
Yep.
We're gonna do the same workshop, we're gonna tweak it so that it's catered towards men, but we are gonna do one for men as well, because we really feel like men and women need their own safe spaces in these particular situations when they've either been subjected to abuse or they've done things. We just need to make sure that they have a safe space to be able to, exist.
Yes. Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Friends, we're going to leave it there. We're going to be bringing you more details. So be sure and stay tuned.
Thanks, guys.